Hey lovelies! Now for a lot of you, nothing says summer quite like a steak sizzling away on the grill. But that being said, when you're cooking steak, the stakes are really high and it's easy to make a mistake. So I have scoured the internet for the best tips, tricks, and shortcuts for mastering your steak game and staking your claim as the king or queen of the grill. I'm pretty sure we just used every steak pun we had in the intro. Without further ado, let's talk about some steak. The first step is choosing your cut. Now, there are a lot of great steak cuts out there that are totally grill worthy. I'm going to talk about a few of my favorites today, starting with a classic ribeye steak. Now, a ribeye is from the same cut as a prime rib, so if you're familiar with prime rib around the holidays, this is the very same cut. I love a ribeye on the grill because it's got a ton of fat. As you can see, it's really beautifully marbled. And as we know, where there is fat, there is flavor when it comes to beef. It's a really beautiful cut. It cooks really well on the grill. If flavor is your ultimate goal, it is a really good choice. It's also slightly more affordable than strip loin and tenderloin. So definitely an option. Your next option is a tenderloin, otherwise known as a filet mignon. As you can see, it is a much leaner cut of beef, so there's a lot less fat, which means there's a lot less flavor. But when it comes to tenderloin, what you lose in flavor, you make up for in tenderness, hence the name. It comes much smaller than a traditional cut of steak because it's actually quite expensive. I would say tenderloin can be anywhere from 1.5 times to 2 times the price of, say, a strip loin or a ribeye. It's a really, really buttery cut of meat. So if you like something really tender and on the leaner side, this might be the cut for you. Now for my very favorite cut, we are talking about the New York strip loin, otherwise known as the king of steaks. And it's not hard to see why. I absolutely love a strip loin because it's that perfect combination of flavor and tenderness. It cooks beautifully and you can eat them really, really thick. So definitely my first choice. Another cut you may have heard about is something called a T-bone. A T-bone can sometimes be considered the best of both worlds because it's got a tenderloin on one side and a strip loin on the other. That being said, it sometimes leads to problems on the grill because the tenderloin tends to cook faster than the strip loin, so you sometimes end up with one side being a little overdone before the other side is fully cooked. There are a couple other steak cuts like hanger steak, skirt steak, and flank steak that are great for other cooking applications, but I prefer to keep them off the grill because they're not quite as tender as the ones we were just talking about. Now that we've talked cuts, it is time to get our steak prepared for the grill. The first tip for doing this is to remove the chill from the steak. So you basically want to take it out of the refrigerator 20 to 30 minutes before cooking it. That way it's at room temperature, meaning you're going to get a nice crust on the outside and a beautiful cooked center. The next step is going to be removing all the surface moisture from our steak. The best way to do that is to pat the surface dry using a paper towel. That way your steak will get a really nice crust on it and you won't have to worry about that excess moisture needing to evaporate before the crust can form. Trust me on this one, it is a step worth taking. Next, let's talk seasonings. And when it comes to seasonings and steak, the idea is to keep things simple. Lots of salt, lots of pepper, nothing else. If you're using a choice cut of beef like the ones we've talked about here, there will never be a need to marinate your steak. Marinades should be reserved for tougher cuts like the flank, skirt, and hanger I was talking about earlier. But if you're using it on a cut like this, it will be totally wasted as it's already so tender and flavorful all on its own. You'll also be adding excess moisture to the surface, which, like we talked about, is not something you want to do. Another big no-no when you're prepping your steak is to use any sharp objects on it. You never want to poke it with a fork or with a knife before cooking it because you're basically creating holes in it which will just allow the fat and as a result the flavor to escape. You'll only want to use tongs when handling your beef. The same goes with flipping it on the grill. Speaking of grills, it is time to get ours fired up because this steak is ready to hit the heat. Of course, when you are cooking steak, it is really, really important to use high heat. The idea is to sear the exterior and create a really beautiful crust while avoiding overcooking the interior. And the best way to do that is with some super high heat. Using lower heat means the inside has time to overcook before that beautiful brown crust has had a chance to develop. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only way to ensure that your beef is properly cooked is with a meat thermometer, so be sure to invest in one. Now, I love my steak medium rare, so I always pull it off at 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember that a steak will continue to cook once it's come off the heat, so you're going to add about 5 more degrees to that temperature before finally digging in. It's important to note, though, that both the USDA and Health Canada recommend cooking your beef to a minimum internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit or medium to prevent foodborne illness. Of course, only you can make that choice for you and your family. I will leave all of the temperature information in the description box below. My final tip as your steak is coming off the grill is to just let it rest. You don't need to bother tenting it with foil, but allowing your steak to rest for 5 minutes before cutting into it will give it a chance for the juices to redistribute and make for a really flavorful bite when you finally get to dig in. Trust me guys, your patience will absolutely be rewarded. I hope you guys found this video helpful and that it will inspire your grilling this season. If you are firing up that grill to cook some steaks, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Snapchat me a photo, because I always love seeing your cooking creations. As I mentioned, I will link the temperature information as well as some safety info in the description box below, so you can take a look for it there. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.